You're live now. Okay.
We are live?
Yep.
Okay. I don't see anything happening on the screen. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Evie. I'm a Dawn this year in Roy Ever Hall. This is my second time as a Dawn, and today we're going to be doing some drawing. And I'm supported by Miho, and Miho's going to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, I'm Miho. I'm doing Powerful Social Science program. I'm a third year living in Roy Ever. I'm just sitting behind the screen right now. But if you have any comment or question about anything about, for example, residence or campus or drawing, please feel free to type in the chat so that we can answer your question.
Yeah, so like Miho said, if you have any questions in regards to residence or classes, since classes started today, or what we're doing, make sure you pop that in the chat and Miho will let me know, and if she can make herself, she'll also answer it.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be doing something called contour drawing. And the reason I love contour drawing so much is because it's probably the first thing you learn when you step into an art class. It's really simple, it's very laid back, and literally everyone can do it. There's two different types of contour drawing, and we're going to do a little bit of both today. So there's regular contour drawing, as well as blind contour drawing. Like the name entails, blind contour drawing means you don't look at what you're drawing. So a little bit of history on contour drawing before we get started. This was really popularized in the 1940s when people started to decide that they wanted to break the norms of what art really was. So you see all these rule breakers in art like Pablo Picasso, Henry Matisse, and more recently, Keith Haring. And by doing contour drawing, you're looking at what you actually see. And what I mean by that is often when people draw, they spend so much time looking down at the page, they miss what's right in front of them. So a really big part of contour drawing is observing and drawing the shapes and getting the contours and observing what you see right in front of you rather than focusing on the end product. So let's see if there's anything else. So contour drawing kind of breaks down every preconception about what you think art is and how art should look, and instead it lets you see what's right in front of you. So I have a couple examples that we can go through before we get started. So I just did these quickly before I came. Hopefully you can see them. Miho, maybe you can let me know if they show up.
Yep.
So I have, on this page, I have a plant that I did with contour drawing. So that means I can look at the page, but I can't lift my pencil off the page. So I have this one up here. So this one here, I was drawing with a pen, but I did lift the pencil once. These two down here, these are a little more harder to recognize, but it's a fan and a lamp. And both of those I did blind contour, which means I didn't look at the page, I just looked at the object and didn't lift my pen. So those are just some examples of objects, but you can also go ahead and do them with people or even your hand. So this one was a portrait of my friend, my roommate that I did, the roommate I had last year. And then on the other side, if you can see it, I did my hand. And while they don't really look realistic, it's not about looking realistic. It's not about the final product. Instead, it's about what you're observing in front of you. So we're gonna get started. Choose an object that's around you. It can be literally anything. Today I have this lovely plant sitting in front of me. So I'm gonna use this. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna set it up right in front of you and get yourself a nice large piece of paper. And you can either, if you're feeling brave, you can go on with a marker or a pen, or if you want to start with pencil, that's perfectly okay. I'm going to start with pencil. And what you're going to do is you're going to choose this point to start. So on this plant, I'm going to start with the pot, because I can see very clearly that there's a rim here, as well as a rectangular shape. So you're going to put your pencil down wherever you want to start that pot. And we're just going to start with contour drawing. So that means you're allowed to look at the plant as well as the page. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just remember to not lift your pencil from the page. So I'm going to start with the rim of the plant. And you're going to go around the edge without lifting the pencil. So using whatever you have in front of you, make sure you're checking to see if you get the shape correct. It's about getting all the lines, all the rectangles, all the curves, rather than making sure that you're making it look exactly like what you see in front of you. And a really great part about contour drawing is that it doesn't have to look anything like what's in front of you. It's about how you interpret it. So going ahead, and now I'm moving into the more leaf shapes of this plant and just doing it really organically. Doing some swirls. And I haven't lifted my pencil once. And done. So I'm gonna show this to you right here. You can see it. Okay. So as you can see, we have a side-by-side comparison. Is it perfect? No. But what you're looking at is the shapes, the basis.
It's very like fashionable. It's very cool. I really like
you.
that.
Thank you. And now we're going to give it a try with blind contour. So what this means, the whole time, I'm going to be looking at this plant. I'm not going to look down on the page. You can just flip your page. You can do it on the same page. Whatever works. I'm going to do it on the same page, just on the side here. So again, choose a point you want to start. Look at that plant that's in front of you. Either hold it up so you can see it better, or keep it on the table in front of you and just go for it. Maybe while I'm doing this, Miho, why did you choose to be a pal?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, that's actually a good question. Let me think about it. That was like I'm doing PAL for 2 years. This is my second time doing PAL. Yeah, I think one reason is that I just wanted to help first year students, because when I think about my first year experience of first year students, that was not very easy, because the high school from universities, it's very like different, right? So I just wanted to give good advice to first year students so that they can, good transition from high school to university.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
For if you're following along, and if you want to choose another color of any pencil crayon or marker, you can also go with that. So this is where I'm at so far. It's looking kind of weird. Doesn't really look like the plant yet. But by adding some color, you can make something that maybe doesn't look exactly the way you want it to come to life and make it more clear that it's a plant. So I'm going with the green. I'm just going to go over the lines I had before. You can go over all of them. You can go over some of them. Whatever you feel like. And maybe go in and color in the pot. Use red.
How is your experience as a Dawn?
My experience as a Dawn, well, since this is my second year,
Yeah.
I was really excited that I had the opportunity to come back. I was a Dawn in Arundel Hall past year, and now this year I'm in Roy Ivor. My favorite part was definitely getting to know everyone through one-on-ones.
Mm-hmm.
I found those were really exciting, and I loved learning where everyone was coming from and what everyone was studying, but also learning new things that, it's, even though we're at university and we're here for academics, I feel like there's so much more we can learn from just talking to people, and one-on-ones are a great way to do that. So I really enjoyed that part of being a Dawn, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing more one-on-ones moving forward. Even if they're virtual or...
Yeah, this year is a little bit different, but we definitely have, both Dawns and PALs have a one-on-one. But purpose is kind of different, but kind of similar. Yeah, I think for Dawns, do you want to talk about the purpose of
Yeah. So one-on-ones are really a great opportunity to sort of just check in and see where everyone's at, see how you're adjusting, ask any questions you maybe don't feel like asking in a group setting, but also just getting to know one another and really building those connections and friendships that are really important on residence. And by just spending 30 minutes with your Don or your pal, or even make an appointment with an RSA to have a one-on-one, you can have so many great conversations and make so many connections. And that's like one of the main things I feel like a lot of people take away from residence. It's those one-on-one connections that last your entire university career. So when you have the chance to sign up for a one-on-one, please do it, because we'd love to chat sometime.
Yeah.
Okay, so going along with our practice run. Hopefully this looks a little more like a plant. But like I mentioned before, it's not really about the final product. It's about seeing what you can do with what's in front of you. So since we've had this practice run with a little bit of blind contour as well as contour drawing, let's maybe move on to something that's a little bit more challenging. And we'll spend a little extra time on this. A lot of people, when you're taking a beginner art class, they always start with hands. And hands are one of the most difficult things to draw, whether you're drawing them realistically, whether you're contour drawing them, painting them. Hands are just always challenging. And I don't know why it is. If you talk to most artists, they'll probably agree. Just getting those fingers right, really difficult. So like I pointed out before, here is my hand drawing that I did before I headed over here. And this one was a blind contour drawing. So that meant I had my hand out in front of me and I did look at it again until I was finished. And I did part of my wrist and part of my hand. So if you want to grab your pencil, maybe a marker, whatever you're feeling confident with, I think I'm going to go in with a marker. I'm actually going to fold this page in half just so I have a little bit of a smaller workspace. And I can focus my drawing a little bit. That way, especially when you're doing blind contour, because you don't know where you're going, sometimes you can take up the entire page. This sort of focuses it down more and it's a little bit easier to get started. So choose a hand position that you feel comfortable with. I think I'm going to do this one because it seems a little interesting. And I'm going to go ahead and get started at the base of my hand, right here. And I'm not going to look at my page. So with hands, something you want to really think about is all those little lines you can see right in front of you. All the ways your hand divides, all the contours in it, hence contour drawing. And by incorporating those lines in, not only is it going to look more interesting, but it might also look more realistic when you have your final product. Or sometimes it may not look like a hand at all, but that's when it can get exciting and you can add things like color, texture, or other patterning.
It looks like a Picasso drawing.
That's very high praise. Takes a lot of focus.
Yeah.
Oh, my page is slipping. So I kind of have a feeling this one's going a little bit all over the place. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. If you catch yourself looking down the page, I know I've done it a few times and I'm like, oh, wait. Gotta remind yourself to keep looking up. Because it won't have the same effect if you cheat and look down. Making sure you get those fingernails in there. Get the shape of those arches on your hands. And then maybe going ahead and getting a little bit of your wrist. Okay, let's see what we have here.
Oh, wow.
Okay, can we tell that it was a hand at one point?
It's so cool, actually.
I really love doing hands because I think this is an easy way to make a challenging thing look really cool. So maybe let's try another hand position. I'm just going to keep it folded like this and then maybe do one on each side. For this one, I'm going to go in with this red pencil crayon. Another thing I really like doing with contour drawing or blind contour drawing is doing multiple overlapping pieces. So for this one, I think I'm going to do one hand position and then another one and overlap them to see what the outcome is and what the product is. Because I think with contour drawing, you can literally do whatever you want. So I think I'm going to do an outstretched hand, focus on the back of my hand for this one. And keep it blind contour again. That's definitely my favorite out of the two. I feel like the outcome is always very unexpected. So Miho, I know you're a little bit of an artist yourself.
Yeah.
What do you like to draw or paint, etc.?
Oh, yeah. Well, I usually use ballpoint pen to draw because it's very cheap. I usually use Muji pen because the quality is very good, and also, yeah, it's very handy and portable, of course. And also, I usually use just a blank paper that you can buy at Walmart.
Nice.
Yeah, or acrylic paint if I have time, but usually I don't have time, so I just use ballpoint pen and paper, and I draw like anything actually, except abstract art, because I'm not very good at like designing kind of stuff. So I usually pick something like someone like celebrity or my hands, like what Evie do right now. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
Nice.
So Evie, do you usually do contour drawing or do you try other style?
Yeah, so drawing is probably the area I am least comfortable in for various like art activities, just because when I was in high school, I went to an art high school and I majored in painting actually. So that was my main focus. So every final product I would always do painting. So usually acrylics is the way I go. I'll show you this.
Oh.
So it's a little hard to see. That's okay though. So yeah, I usually go for painting. And like you said, I agree, drawing, I feel like I need to make it realistic or I need to copy something to make sure I get it completely perfect. So doing contour drawing is definitely a good way to challenge myself to just let whatever happen.
Yeah, how did you come across the contour drawing?
Yeah, so my mom is actually an art teacher. Or when I was a kid, she was an art teacher. Now she's into she makes cakes, like fancy cakes, like you can see on Cake Boss, which is really cool. Yeah, so she was an art teacher, and I took art lessons with her basically since I can remember. And one of the first projects we always did was contour drawing because it sort of breaks down the nerves, and it's a low stress way to start drawing, and you can't really go wrong. So that's how I sort of came across contour drawing. And then as I went and took more like actual art classes in school and like at museums that offered workshops, contour drawing just kept on popping up.
Wow. I mean, your family is so like artsy.
Yeah, do you have artsy people in your family?
No. Oh, grandfather, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Cool. So what are you drawing right now?
So I'm drawing another hand there, the same blind contour. You can tell that's my favorite type. But this time I'm doing it like this. But over top of the other one, just so we can see what type of shapes we get, see if there's anything interesting that comes out of it. And towards the end of this, we'll do a little bit of self-portrait. And then hopefully this one you'll be able to keep and display somewhere because it's going to look totally awesome once it's all come together.
It's a very good way to like distress yourself, especially like before the exam or during the exam season.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips being a second-time pal or just a third-year student? Do you have any tips for how to de-stress as these days start to pick up with classes?
Sure. There's so many ways. Then I encourage all of you, to find the best way that fit you to, distress yourself. But personally, what I do is to listen to music, and also take a walk outside, because sometimes being packed in one room and studying whole day is kind of stressful, and we need fresh air. So just walking into like a nature trail, because UTM has beautiful nature trail, and yeah, I think that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, we have so many amazing nature trails on campus. If you're a drawer or if you're taking art class, there's this type of technique called en plein air, like out in open air, drawing or painting or whatever technique you want to use. The Arundel Park, as well as our nature trails, which are just near the campus, are great places if you ever want to go and draw from nature. Or even just draw from life, like observe people walking by, do some quick sketches. Those are some great areas to do that for sure. Or just to chill out, not do anything for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm going over now the red one I did before, just so we can see it a little better. And I have the overlapping black hand right now.
Talking about the Arundel Park, actually, this year I first went there.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first time.
What did you think?
That was so cool. But me and my friends we went there in a rainy day.
Oh,
so
no.
That wasn't a good experience. But if that was a sunny day, definitely, it was so beautiful. And there's a river and there's a bridge. So if you haven't been there, I really recommend to go there. It's just like 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, 5 minutes away from here.
About, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's very chill and good place, especially in the fall. Yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of what I got going for our final product here.
Wow.
So we have 2 overlapping hands. Okay. So let's maybe try and do some contour drawing, since we've done a lot of blind contour so far. So just on this free page here, we can start with something maybe a little more simple. I have another plant. This one has a lot of grass in it. It's going to be pretty interesting to draw, especially with contour, trying to get all of these little pieces in. If you have a fan or a water bottle, another plant, a bookshelf, laptop, a speaker, even like a poster on your wall, maybe trying to recreate that might be really interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and do it with this dark purple, because why not? There's no mistakes here. And I really like these pens. And we're going to do a contour. So that means keeping the pen on the page, but also looking at what we're drawing in front of us. And I'm going to start, instead of the pot this time, I'm going to start with a random strain of grass and see where we can go from there.
I like the purple color.
Yeah, I love this color.
And I like how, become so creative, because usually if we draw some plants, then we easily pick green color, right?
Right.
But yeah, it's so cool.
There's so many other options. And that's like the easiest way, I feel like. If you want to try something abstract, just start with something that is completely unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
If you're drawing a landscape, instead of doing it all greens and blues, do it red and orange. Or, like, for example, if you're doing a plant, make it bright blue. Like, just choose something that you wouldn't expect in the first place.
Yeah, anything is okay, actually, right?
Yeah, for sure. A thing I notice when I'm doing contour drawing is I often feel like there's a little more pressure to get it correct. Because you're looking at the page and you're looking at the object. So it might be a little more challenging to sort of let yourself do whatever your hand wants it to.
What is the best motif of your choice?
Like the best method for drawing, or
Oh, I mean the object.
oh, like the best object to use to draw?
Yeah.
Ooh, good question. I really love drawing portraits.
Oh.
I think portraits are my favorite thing to draw, they're my favorite thing to paint. Partially because they're like, I don't know, they can always be really unique. There's no set way that it's supposed to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I really like how you could take it and make it, like, you could add emotion to your portraits. So, for example, through color, through texture, through layering. If you want to express, like, very literally that someone is sad, you paint them blue. If you want to express that someone's angry, paint them red. But I also like, when you're drawing, to use techniques like contour or some sort of shading or like a hatching line. And that can really, like, portraits can go from looking like a picture to something that has 1,000 stories or 1,000 words behind it, and you can really do that through art. But I gotta say, painting portraits is where my heart's at.
I usually like portrait, but what I do is more like a realistic one. So I mean, I have to like spend a little bit like long time to do that. So right now I'm kind of do the flower. I think flower is kind of easy, I would say.
It depends on what drawing experience you have, for sure.
Yeah, that's true. And also which flower you choose.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I chose sunflower before, and it was a little bit hard.
So I'm just going in with a couple colors. I'm going to stick to the sort of purpley pink colors we have going right now. And I'm just going to color in pieces of it. I'm not going to color the whole thing because you don't have to. Another thing that I learned when I was taking art lessons is that there's a lot of value in negative space. So what I mean by that is you don't have to color the whole thing. You don't have to fill in all the blanks. By taking some time and leaving some space for your art to grow or to change, you can actually end up coming up with something that's a lot more interesting than what you would have originally had. So I'm just selecting a few sections. Oh, there's some knocking.
It's okay.
And working through them. Okay. Okay, so this is where we're at.
Awesome.
Take your time with it. I'm gonna add some colors and maybe some shading to the pot. But like I said, really thinking about what your negative space looks like. You don't want to fill the whole thing. You can if you want to, but you don't need to.
What color are you using? What kind of pink?
This one is a Laurentian pencil crayon, and it's called True Pink.
Oh, interesting. True pink. What is your favorite color?
I really like yellow. That's my favorite color.
Oh.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
I like any color actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
For me, it's like the combination of colors is more important.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I like olive color and pink. Those combination.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I definitely feel like especially coming from like an art perspective, it's hard to say like which color I like
Yeah.
because it really depends on like what I'm looking at. Because sometimes yellow can look murky and yucky. Like what you really want to see is like a bright, happy yellow, but then sometimes bright, happy yellow just doesn't fit this picture. So it really depends on what I'm looking at. I agree.
Yeah, that's so true. And there's so many kinds of yellow, right? Some of them are kind of orangish yellow, some of them are neon color. Yeah.
So this is, I think I'm gonna leave this here. This is what I have. Just a little fun little pink plant. So at this point, I feel like we've probably mastered hands. We've done some plants, we've done some objects. So I think we'll just take maybe like 5-10 minutes, taking what we just got, choose an object, choose a hand, combine a couple things, maybe use some negative space, just doodle for a bit, and then we'll come back and we'll work on something new. So, Miho, do you have any tips for first years on how to make time for doing fun stuff like this?
Oh yeah. So I would say time management. What I usually do is make a list, like to-do list, and make my own calendar on my phone so that I can find which day and which time I have free time. And a free time I'm not gonna do any study. And after I finish my free time, I'm going back to my study so that I can like focus on one thing. And I'm not gonna be like freaking out. Yeah, so that's what I do. And yeah, I would say time management is very key at university.
Definitely.
Yeah, some people use like planner, like make their own planner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and using different colors.
Yeah, like bullet journaling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another live session that we had.
Yes. If you haven't watched it, I really recommend you watch it.
We're gonna plug that right now. Go check out the other live session.
Yeah, it's on the UTM Residence channel. Also, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I agree. Definitely time management is going to become a major part of your day-to-day. I'm sure you already know that managing your time is the best way to make sure you're on top of your things. But with university, at least in my first year, I found that I had a lot more time than I thought I would. And that was because of the change from like a 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. school schedule to having class maybe just in the evening one day or just in the morning another day. And while that's awesome, it can also be a little dangerous because you're like, oh, I don't have to do work yet. I can sleep in. So I think it was my second year that I really figured out like, oh, hey, I need to make sure I'm even just scheduling time for myself, not just school study time, because otherwise the time will escape.
Yeah, I found the same thing last year because, we were working on residence last year as a first time doing Power Dawn. And, of course we have schoolwork and also the job as well. So we have to like balance and we have to make sure which time we use for job and which time we use for schoolwork and which time we use for free time. So yeah, making a list or making a good schedule or
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. What else? Using resources on campus, I would say. For example, if you need help or if you need advice for your writing or like assignment, if you can get good advice from RGSC, Robert Gillespie Academic Student Center, and they're not gonna like teach you, but they can give you good feedback and they can find out which part you need to improve. So right now everything is online, but you can still book appointment. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The RGASC, I don't know if that's what their acronym, how you say their acronym, but we always call it the RGASC, my friends. they really helped me in first year, especially with some of those introductory level courses where maybe you haven't written in that style before. They have a lot of great resources, as well as the UTM library, actually, on sort of what to expect from those courses, but also how to go about starting to read for those courses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, I don't remember how many times I went to RGSC, the skill center, especially as a student who speaks English as a second language. The writing essay in English is pretty like challenging. So, grammar stuff and organization like structure. So I went to RGSC so many times that they gave me very good feedback on my essay. Yeah.
That's awesome. Another resource I really found helpful, I kind of mentioned this already, but the librarians at the in the library, you can also access them online based on subject. So I know there's a forensic science librarian, there's classical civilization librarian. Those are just the programs that sort of relate to me, but I'm sure there's librarians for each and every program. And you can contact them directly if you ever have any questions about research, which I found extremely helpful, because obviously UTM is a very research-heavy school. That's kind of one of the things we pride ourselves with. And it was really helpful to go directly to the source and be like, hey, can you give me some guidance here on where I should even start looking for this assignment? And definitely check out your librarian specific pages for your program. Super helpful.
Yeah.
But of course, if you have any questions about that, you can go to your pal and they'll direct you.
Sure. Yeah. There are I don't remember how many pals actually, but if any pal watching right now, type how many pals we have. Yeah. So we have different types of pal. We have LLC pal and regular pals, and also we have a different subject area. For example, me, I'm doing social science pal, and there are psychology pal, life sci pal, commerce. What else? I'm missing many pals right now.
Yeah, so we have life sciences, we have social sciences, CCIT.
Yes, CCIT. Yeah.
Commerce. Commerce?
Yeah, commerce. Yeah.
Art and art history.
Art and history. Yeah. Yes.
Chemical and physical sciences.
Yeah. Comp-sci.
Comp-sci, yeah. I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, so basically there's so many subject areas we're covering. So yeah, if you have any question or concern, please feel free to reach to us. Yeah.
And also, if you're like, where do I find all this information? Well, you can either message your Dawn, you can check your emails, because if you're a first year, you were already opted into the PAL program. You should have gotten contact information yesterday about that. But yeah, just literally talk to any RSS member and they will help you figure out where you're supposed to be going and who you're supposed to be talking to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was in the Life Science LLC in first year. OPH third floor, Foxes, who go then. And my pal was so amazing. She was definitely the reason that I wanted to apply to RSS. She created so many awesome opportunities for us through faculty field trips and networking events. And it was really just definitely the highlight of my academic residence experience was having that resource. So I would highly recommend talking to your pal.
Yeah, and Evie just mentioned faculty field trip. So basically faculty field trip, this year it's kind of different, but it's the event or social that PAL design and host. And we usually invite faculty members like professors and TAs so that students can get to know professors and TAs and have a good conversation with them. But this year it's going to be academic collaboration. It's a little bit different, but it's kind of same. So if you're in Palo group, yeah, please like look forward to that event. Yeah. I'm kind of promoting Palo program right now.
No, that's good. PALs are such a valuable part of living on residence, and I hope everyone takes advantage of that because you never know when you're gonna need that support, and they are there, ready and waiting to help.
Yeah, of course.
Just like Don's, we're also there ready.
Yeah, we're so ready to help students. Yeah, what are you doing right now? Is it the plants?
Yeah, so I was just doodling, having some fun, trying to do some blind contour of the plants and sort of see like the further and further I went with them, how well they looked. So the first one, this yellow one here, hopefully you can see. So this one was just a regular contour. But then we see this one with blind contour. It gets a little bigger, a little more goofy looking. And then this one was also contour, and it doesn't even really look like a plant. And then just in the corner right here, I drew some of the grass leaves from the top of this plant here, and then use the same colors I had just to doodle. And that's a really great thing about contour drawing. You can do it whenever, wherever, on the back of a notebook, on the same page as a bunch of other artwork. It's just fun to sort of de-stress. So sort of for our final thing here, I'm looking at the time, we have about 20 minutes left. This is where I get to explore some little self-portraiture with contour drawing, which sounds intimidating, I know, but it's a lot easier than one would think. So I'm just gonna take this paper here, and I'm gonna shape it to sort of how I wanna do it. Whether you're using printer paper, a sketchbook, a large piece of paper, give yourself an area to get started. I'm gonna use this sheet here. And I do actually have an example of this that I did a couple of years ago. This sketchbook is very old, hence the green tape holding it together. So I did this like a long time ago. But it's just sort of an example of completely blind contour drawing and some self-portraiture. So we're gonna work on drawing multiple portraits for this one and adding some geometric shapes just to make it a little more interesting and working with color. So if you haven't sort of dove into using color yet, I recommend grabbing a few pencil crayons, whatever color you really like, whatever color complements another, and some sort of Sharpie and a pencil or a pen. So if you have access to a mirror, I recommend putting one in front of you, or you can use your phone camera, whatever works. I just have this little compact mirror that I'm going to be using, and set it up right in front of your face. You can either hold it or you can set it up. I think I'll hold mine. And then you're going to grab, I'm going to start, I think, with a black thin marker. So the golden rule for when you are working through art is sets of threes are always more aesthetically pleasing. So we're going to go for 3 different portraits here. You can do them contour, blind contour, whatever you feel comfortable with, but you don't have to do whole portraits. So for example, you could do maybe just your eyes. Maybe you'll do just your nose and your mouth, or maybe just your nose. Choose a piece and get started with it. I know I'm wearing a mask right now, so it's going to look a little different, but we can make a COVID-inspired contour drawing. So I'm going to start, I think, up in the top left corner, and I'm just going to start with my eyes in a blind contour drawing. So choose a place to start on your page. Choose a feature that you want to highlight. Maybe it's your favorite feature. Maybe it's hidden behind a mask or an arm, a hand, anything. Choose a location you want to start, and then just go for it. So if you're doing blind contour, remember you're looking at the subject and not at your page. You're not lifting the pen. And remember to try and get all of those little shapes you see. So you have, if you're going, for example, doing an eye, you have the eyebrow, the arch of your eyebrow. You have the curve or almond shape of your eye, as well as your iris and your pupil. But don't forget your eyelashes, as well as your eyelid, any bag you have under your eye. And if you can, not wear a mask because you're social distance and or in your own unit, you can take off your mask and go a little further. I'm going to be leaving my mask on today. Get my ears that are sticking out of my hair. Get a little bit at the top of my head, my other ear, and the top of my mouth. Okay. So let's just clean this up a little bit. There's nothing saying you can't go back and fix any lines. So, it's kind of small, but this is where we're started.
Oh, that's so cute.
We have some eyes, we have a little bit at the top of a mask. I'm going to extend my mask a little bit, just on either side. Again, it's not going to look realistic, but that's kind of the point. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and choose another color. I'm really feeling like I like purple today. So I'm going to grab this light purple pencil crayon. You can grab a color or pencil, whatever you feel comfortable with. And this time I'm going to do a profile of my face. So that means you're physically training your body or just moving where your mirror is. Do that. I'm going to do it facing this way. And I'm going to start with my ear because that's kind of central to the whole picture. I'm going to go ahead and start through the ear. Make sure I get my earrings in. And we have the mask. I can't say I've ever drawn a mask before, but that's okay. It's going to be interesting. Make sure we get how the shape of the mask goes over the nose and then back flat against the cheek. And we're going to go ahead and go with the eyes. Just want to make sure I'm not going off the page onto the table.
I think contour drawing everything makes very artsy and artistic.
Right?
So cool.
And I love how it's not complete abstraction, but I love how free it is with whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to look a specific way. And that's why I love it. Okay. Oh, wow. This is probably not even gonna look real. So this one is a little light, so I'm just gonna go over it really quickly with my pencil, so it's a little darker.
Yeah. If any of you are interested in making your room or unit artsy or artistic, I really recommend to do make an art piece with this contour drawing. And right now, during this orientation period, we're doing the Goose Chase app, and we're doing a Welcome Home Week challenge. So if you're interested in like decorating your unit or room, please join this app and show off your unit.
Yeah, so we have an Instagram live stream that's going to be happening, I believe, on the 11th in the evening. Your Dons will send more information out to you on that. And you should have gotten a link already for what's going on there. And IKEA has graciously allowed UTM residents to have a $5 coupon for ordering things to any UTM resident student. So take advantage of that because on Friday we have our Welcome Home or Home Sweet Home live stream. And with that, you could show off how awesome and how cool we decorated your spaces. I don't have any art up in my room yet, but maybe I'll try and put some of these on my wall before that.
Yeah, it's gonna be so awesome.
Okay, so this can look kind of funny, but here's my side profile.
Oh my god!
So you can sort of see the mask here.
That's so cool.
2 eyes, the earrings, the ears, and then my neck here, and then the hair. And I think I'm going to do one more, keep it in sets of 3. And I'm going to use this like purple gray color, I think. So this one I'm probably going to do straight on, forward, Maybe I'll pull my hair forward too. And you can make it look however you want. So set up your face however you want it. I'm gonna try and do a full face here. Maybe try to overlap with the other purple just to make it a little more interesting. And again, I'm doing blind contour, but feel free to do whatever type of contour drawing you want. It's gonna look amazing no matter which way you do it.
Okay, we have actually 5 minutes to go.
Awesome.
Yep.
We're perfect. We're right on time. I was worried it was either gonna be too long or too short.
If some of you drawing with us, please share your drawing on your social media or with your friends, or using your art to decorate your unit.
So this one looks kind of goofy. I'm gonna go in and touch up some of the corners, and then I'll show you. Okay, so this one, almost as good as the side profile. We have the mask here, the 2 eyes, and the hair.
That looks so good.
So just to finish it up, I'm going to go ahead and go in with those same colors I was using before, and I actually brought a couple things just to use here. And we're going to add some geometric shapes, maybe some color blocks just in these last few minutes, just to finish it off. So I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to go ahead with, I think, a thick Sharpie. Just going to lay out a piece of paper underneath so we don't leave it off the table. And I know this sounds scary, but if you feel comfortable, take your ruler and put it right over top of what you just drew. It doesn't have to be through the entire thing, but as you can see, I'm going to be putting it right over top of the edge of the hairline of the gray one, as well as the neck and hair of the purple one. And it's going to go right across my page and off the page a little bit. I'm just going to draw a straight line right across. And then I'm going to move it down about 1 centimeter and draw another line right across. One of the best ways I find to make something look a little more, not necessarily realistic, but look more purposeful, is to have pieces of it going off the page, because that makes it look a little more put together and like it extends beyond just what's right in front of you. So I'm going to carefully do part of this colored in, but not the whole piece. Just wherever it connects with the person or with the doodle, I'm going to stop. And leave that negative space that we were talking about. Awesome. So that's my first piece.
Oh.
And then I think I'm liking keeping it pretty neutral, so I'm going to keep using this here. And I brought, if you have any cups, a roll of tape, anything, I brought my roll of tape, my programming tape with me, and I'm going to choose the upper corner, and I'm going to not do a full circle, it's going to be going off the page a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and draw in a circle here.
It's so smart, actually. I like the idea.
Thank you. It's always handy to have one of these things around and have the tape around, because you ever need a perfect circle. And I'm just going to go ahead and thicken up the outline of that circle, maybe just to make it about like 0.5 centimeter thick all the way around. This is just going to make it a little more interesting than just a straight line.
We have around 1 minute, so
Perfect. We'll finish up right after this.
if you have any last question or comment, please feel free to type and send us.
Okay. I think I'm going to finish it off with just another line right through here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, as every good artist does, make sure to sign your name in the bottom corner. Maybe put the ear. And there you go. You have your very own contour portrait that looks absolutely beautiful. It can go on any wall in your room, and you can tell everyone you're drawing just like Picasso. Okay. Thank you very much for everyone for tuning in. We're so glad we could draw with you today. Make sure you stay tuned for more live sessions coming up later this week. Thank you for spending this time drawing with us.
Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the week. Bye.